This is the walk around video for the Burstner Lyseo Harmony line TD745. We have diesel filler point, and now we've got the new add blue function on the Fiats, just located on the passenger side. Behind that then we have the service locker. You twist the button to close the door and keep it in place, and then make sure that that red button is pressed in fully to lock it. You do that by turning the key, like so, and then pressing the button in. You'll see that it stays in place when you do that. Twist it the other way and it releases to open into your service area. So inside here you will find your waste point key, which is located just with the sticker there that mounts onto the metal bar and opens the wastewater drain just at the side there. Next to it is your neck, your filler neck for filling up the fresh water, which when you remove the blue cap, place it there, put your hose pipe on, a little cutout there for it, and start filling up the tank. To fill up the tank you must turn that tap clockwise and then anti-clockwise to empty it. You will see that we've put a little bit of water on for test. You will see that it's a transparent tank, so you will see what's inside it. Once it overflows, it will just overflow with the overflow section here and overflow out of it. If you forget to put that on, it will overflow inside, so please remember to put that in place. Next to it you have your mains plug-in point. You will put your mains cable in between the gap there and the cutout just in the rubber there. Below that you have your frost protection valve. Now this must be as it is set up here, with the diamond facing across and the blue button pressed in place. To empty it, turn it across and it will empty. Click it back and press the button in to stop it from emptying. If you try and fill it without that, water will come out underneath the vehicle. At the side of it you'll see you've got a toggle valve here. That must be in the down position, and it doesn't matter if it's facing the way it is now or the other way. If it is up, again you will see water coming out underneath the vehicle. Behind that we have your flue for the heating system. Don't really need to do anything with that, but be careful, it does get quite warm. Into here now you've got the black box, which is your toolkit, which you can place anywhere within the vehicle, and then your gas bottles go in this area here with a pigtail which is inside the vehicle to connect to the bottle. Push the door down as such. Going back then you have your fridge vents, your window that opens, and then your rear locker. So this just opens with the Burstner key. One key for all the outside lockers. Carpets are located just there. You have some little chocks, and your winding handle is located in there. You will also see that there is a heater pipe. The rear area is heated too as well. The back of the vehicle you have your reverse camera just up there, and then onto the other side you have another access hatch with a light that turns on and off once you turn your power on inside. And now below, for this year, the new main socket, and that is where your heat comes into it. The little turn allows you to move the tie down fitments along the rails, and there's 4 of them in total. Moving further forward, you have your electrical outputs, both mains and 12 volt. You will need a UK adapter for that, and an aerial point should you wish an aerial to work from the mains campsite. It will need wiring separately for that. Push them in. You have in front of that your external barbecue point, which is standard on this particular model, and underneath you have your toilet cassette. Simply lifts up and slides out, making sure that you have your blade valve open for the toilet, When you've emptied it, simply close it back in, lift up the handle and close the locker. So forward of that you've got your step, and I'll come to that in a moment. The bonnet release catch, like most Fiats, is around near the passenger area, and your engine battery is located underneath that flap there. Also at the front as well, is in this compartment underneath the seat, you have your e-box where all your fuses are located. So any problems, revert to the handbook, and that's where the fuses are located on this particular. Underneath the engine bay, you have the little release catch just here, and the stay. Main things on here, obviously look in your handbook, but your screen wash, your oil and your dipstick. The rest of it, revert to your handbook. To close it, simply lift up, locate and close as such. The wing mirrors manually push in and push out, and then inside they will electrically operate. This particular model has remote central locking, so to unlock you press the lock button, and to unlock press the top button. It is clearly marked on the keys, which we'll show you on handover. So before we move in, you've got a bin, a blind, and also on this particular model a fly screen, which is located on the door. To the left of the door you have the switches. So we have the step switch, we have the main lights, the outside awning and strip light, and then your top one being your welcome light. These three all operate separate of the electric being on. The others need the electric on for them to work. On the habitation door you've also got a blind, and on the roofs they all come with fly screens or blinds that are simply operated by pulling them across. On the windows, pull the blinds, fly screens down and the blinds up, which will allow you to close it off in an evening. And on the front ones it has a lot of people that are aware of Remis cab blinds, which go around and screen off both the sides and the windows at the same time. Once all closed, the cab, the front area should screen off as shown just there. Going to the cab then, this particular model here is fitted with leather steering wheel controls, cruise control, the new 9-speed gearbox, cab air conditioning, this is the manual version, and then the double din unit, which has the sat nav built into it, Bluetooth, DAB radio, and this is motorhome specific. It is the Pioneer unit on this particular one. Moving across to the side, you've got a glove compartment there. You have the new phone or tablet holder there, cup holders lower down, and then another storage area just there. The handbrake is located, as most Fiats, just down there on the driver's right hand side. In front of that you've got the electric windows on the driver's side and the controls for the windows that operate both sides, top and bottom. The little identification red mark here tells you that you've left your step open when your engine started, so you'll need to go to the step control, which I've just shown you, and put the step in before you drive off. The seats themselves swivel, just using this little mechanism here. You pull it back towards and then swivel the seats around, and they work on both sides of the seats the same way. They have adjusters on the seats, so you'll see on the outer side of the seats these two little marks. Lift the back up and then lift the front up. This particular one has the bench seat arrangement. The seat belts are located just behind the seats, and it has two seat belts as well as the driver passengers, so 4 in total. It has a single seat just on this side, and this particular version doesn't have a drop down model, which is an extra. for the Lyseo TD745. The table does extend just by pulling that little black lever down and twist the table, it will move around to extend just like that. Underneath the side single seat you have storage, and this particular model is fitted with a mini safe. That was fitted from factory. This particular customer ordered the front dinette option, so you get a separate cushion that goes in there, a black cushion that's supplied there, and that formulates a lower down double bed should you want it. To remove the table, to put it into the lower position, you unhook it. You'll just see the little red tab lift up. You can remove it then. That slots onto the rail just underneath, and you simply pull the leg off here where it splits to become the lower down it to berth area. Moving into the kitchen area, you have all your isolation points. In here you have the pigtail for your gas that I spoke about earlier, your winding handle for the drop down bed in the rear. I'll post a video separately of this, but it's located just behind this panel here, which is velcroed on roughly in around about that position there. So pull the panel down, the key will go in and wind the bed up and down. Also in there you have your keys for the safe if you were to order a mini safe like this version. Lower down still is all your packs. So the black booklet is where all the handbooks and manuals are. You have some toilet chemical from Burstner, and then you have a couple of the home light stations which go onto the charging points in the vehicle. I'll show you where they are in a moment, and literally they are lights that sit just there or on the other side in the rear of the vehicle. Once charged, they then will light up, and the charging point for this particular one is located just up there. Staying with the kitchen, you've got the new sliding compartment for chopping and preparing your food, the sink with the plug, and the mixer tap with your hot and cold there. Remember, when you fill up the fresh water that I've showed you outside, always turn your taps to hot. Open your tap till you get a steady stream. That will then fill the boiler and allow you to use your heater controls, which I'll come on to later in the video. Next we have the cooker unit. So 3 burner hob with the relevant controls just there. Moving down now to the oven grill, pretty much like a domestic one that everyone's used to at home, and then you've got your igniter just there. Just make sure that when you're grilling that you do leave that door open. Lower down here we have the main RCD breaker for your electrics. So if you've got any electrical problems, you're not getting power to the vehicle, check that the trip switch is in the right position as it is here in the diagram. To the side of that one we've got another storage drawer which just locks in place just as so. And then we've got the fridge unit. Open the handle here, we've got a separate freezer compartment to the fridge, and the controls are relatively simple. So press the unit on, it does illuminate so you'll know that it's lit up. It will tell you if you've not got gas, as it is in this one. It will also tell you if the engine's not running. It will alarm on that particular item, or on mains electric. Once it's tried that, it will trip. You can also, just as it has done that, you can also utilise the automatic function, which as soon as you turn the source on, the warning light will go off. If you haven't got anything on, you will hear the warning lights beeping just as it is. To turn the unit off, you press and hold the button just as I've done there. To the side of it you have your temperature control. From here is the warmer to the coldest, and then the reset button just as it tells you there. Above it we have got another storage area, Burstner give you some nice storage products to try for cups and plates, just there. Moving forward of it, we've got the grill pan and storage. All of these simply just by pressing the handle, move that little fit in there, and you should hear a defined click. These are all the same on this particular one, all the way through, and just on that one there. Moving further back, we have the position for the key for the drop down bed. You have 2 keys with this. Once you turn the key, it will then operate the bed and it will stop and start. For this particular one, you must have them cushions removed to drop the bed all the way down. Simply place them below, press and hold the button and you'll see that the light illuminates, and then the bed will come down. Just there, it will stop when it reaches its lowest position, and that is your bed ready for you. We do advise that you can put it up with duvets on and pillows if they're small. If the pillows are bigger, please find somewhere else suitable for them. If you've got any problems with the bed, refer to the handbook as well, and again I've told you where the manual override for that is. Underneath the bed you have a roof light with a blind and a fly screen on as well as an opening hatch to let air in. In the rear of the vehicle you have 2 light switches on the driver's side and a plug socket and a point for your home light, and the same on the passenger side. Inside the cupboards, storage and a hanging rail. These do move around so you can change them however you wish. And on this side you have hanging space. The buttons simply press in, make sure that they're all pressed in before you start driving off. And on this particular one we have another storage area just here for your belongings. And lastly we have the sliding door mechanism, so press the little button up and the door will slide and then slide across to screen off the front area from the rear. If you are wondering, this particular customer's had an alarm system fitted. You might have heard it when I was unlocking it, and that's the rear PIR unit that we fitted. Looks simply just like that when it's finished. The Lyseo model has underfloor storage. Simply press the button up and then push it flat when you're not using it. Into the bathroom you have a sliding toilet with the blade valve, which literally when moving it forward and backwards operates the blade just inside there. It must be closed for you to pull the toilet cassette out. You have the blue button, which is the flush button, and the indicator at the side that tells you when the toilet cassette is full. Above that is your light switches and your main socket. Shower area, make sure that you lock the shower screen just in place before travelling. Plugs are located there, and again mixer taps for your shower. Up here we have a towel rail just there, an opening hatch for ventilation, and storage just in there. The mixer tap is just on the end, so you'll see the colours just on the end. And again, remember to close that before you're travelling off. There's a position for your toilet roll to go, and that's what the cut is in the actual door covering. We have another door hatch just there as you walk in. couple of USB charging points, a TV monitor holder if you want to watch TV, and the relevant mains 12-volt and aerial points. You can just see here as well we have wireless contacts on the door to match up with the alarm. And then coming on to the main control panel. First is it's relatively simple. So you have an on-off button which turns off all the 12-volt power to the vehicle. Must be illuminated to use your lights and your toilets and your facilities inside. We have an indicator to tell us how much power is in the, as you can see, battery at the back. That's your habitation battery. On at the bottom is your engine battery. To the right hand side we have a level control for your fresh water and one for your wastewater, which is currently empty. And then you'll see the illuminated tap with water. That is your water pump. To get the taps working, you must have that illuminated. If you want to turn it off, simply press the button there. Next to that is your main heater controls, which you turn on by pressing the button here. What you want to do then, and we have a separate video for this as well, but we basically want to set the temperature by turning the dial, selecting which you want. The next one along is your water temperature, so it's either off, slow up to temperature, fast up to temperature, or all the power will be taken from the heating to get the water up to temperature as quick as possible if you select the boost. Your next option along is your fuel source, so as it says there, gas. Turning the dial, you'll get mix 1, and again you'll see it change above. Mix 2, which is 2 kilowatt electric and gas. You've got electric 1, which is 1 kilowatt electric, or electric 2, which is 2 kilowatt electric. Once you've decided, it will stay above and illuminate what you've selected. The next one along is the fan speed. So again on here, high, low, or again, once you've had the system running and the fan started, you can turn it a third position to boost. If, like at the minute, you're trying to run the system and you have not got any gas, you're not plugged into mains, you'll have a warning triangle that illuminates. What you have to do to reset that warning triangle is turn the dial to go on the warning triangle, select it, reset it, and it will talk you through it. So it's going to reset in 14 minutes. So you leave it for 14 minutes and then it will reset. To turn the unit off, you press and hold the unit in here and it tells you that it's off. If you do get a warning triangle and the code that appears on it, it is in your Trooper handbook, and again we have a separate video for this. All in all guys, that is us completed on our handover video of Burstner's Lyseo TD Harmony Line 745.